As introduced, my name is Jeff Berezny, and I head up all of the marketing and communications at Trov. But I'm not going to start by talking about Trov, because what I want to start to talk about is what this massive sea change is that's happening that we discussed a little bit about on the panel. And I'm going to throw a word up on the page, or a phrase up on the page, that perhaps you might think is cliche, because it's kind of been thrown around a little bit. But on-demand is eating the world, literally eating everything. And some of you may again say, well, yeah, is it profitable? There's a lot of startups doing it. They're going to kind of fall by the wayside. Can they really make it under that business model? And I would agree. I would say, yeah, a lot of them probably will die. But I can tell you what will not change is what I am now used to, what my family's now used to, what my colleagues are now used to, and what the new mobile generation is used to, which is on-demand everything. That is getting what you want, when you want, where you want it, in the way that is most convenient to you. And I'm going to say that again because it's really important. What you want, when you want, where you want, in the way that's most convenient to you. That is the basis of the on-demand economy, and it is what the new generation is going to demand. Even if startups fail, the new economy is going to demand that. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. How many people here have used DoorDash? Yes, it's not revolutionary, it's delivery. But it delivers anything. It delivers any restaurant that you can dream of, whether it's In-N-Out Burger or whether it's your favorite Italian restaurant. My wife and I use it excessively because when we sit at home and we've had a long day and we say, should we make dinner? Or 30 seconds later, I've ordered on DoorDash and it's on its way. And suddenly, we're enjoying DoorDash. And the reason I tell you about DoorDash is because it is a perfect example of what's possible when the on-demand economy is present. And I'll tell you one more story about it. Oh, I gave it away. I was in the UK a few weeks ago, and I woke up to a call at about 4 a.m. from somebody saying, do you have any, they're all out of Reese's Pieces. Help, they're all out of Reese's Pieces. I don't know what to do. What do you want me to do? And I was just jet-lagged, 4 a.m., going, I don't know what's happening. And my wife and I share a DoorDash account. So I quickly put two and two together and said, oh, wow, it looks like she must have a craving for frozen yogurt. And so suddenly this is a thing, on-demand frozen yogurt. So when you sit and you have a craving for frozen yogurt, you can get it immediately and have it delivered to your door in an hour. So luckily, I knew my wife might be upset if she didn't get the frozen yogurt, so I suggested Kit Kats, and I tracked the delivery right to the home. Now again, I'm not talking about insurance. I'm talking about the sea change that's happening. I'm talking about on-demand, because this is how we approach things at Trov. We don't approach it from an insurance point of view. We approach it from what the economy is doing, what people are doing, what the behavior we're seeing, and how we can fit in. I'm not even going to list all of these up here in purpose of time, but these are all on-demand companies, and even some in the bottom left are old companies that are experimenting in some pretty neat on-demand stuff. Meanwhile, in the insurance industry, so we've experienced this very firsthand. We tried to integrate as a startup. We're about 3.5 years old, and I've been there for 3. We tried to integrate. It's hard for a startup, really, really hard, for 2 big reasons. Ridiculously long policies that are crazy inflexible and impossible to change, and legacy IT systems. Those 2 things were kind of a non-starter for us after we started trying to figure out how to do it. And what we eventually decided was that we had to build it ourselves. And partner, as we heard on the panel several times today, was that you got to partner and work together on it. But integration, I don't know, if somebody in this room can do integration from the insurance point of view, I'd be very impressed. I don't know all the systems, but it was really, really hard for us. So we built it ourselves. And if you haven't heard of Trov, it is on-demand insurance for pretty much anything. But we call it things that you love. So whether it's your bike, whether it's your phone, your laptop, your tablet, any of those things that you're carrying around on a daily basis that are super valuable that people didn't used to carry around. But it's not just those things. It's passionate things like bikes, video cameras, camera equipment, everything from that to like, imagine a passionate fisher or angler. They could protect all of their angling equipment. So it's really, really anything. a real quick loop on what Trov actually is, the app. If you haven't seen Trov before, haven't heard of it, it's a mobile digital inventory app that automatically collects all the information about the things that you own. So basically what you can do is you can take a receipt, snap a photo of it, it'll suck in all the information from the receipt, and it'll automatically organize all of those purchases in your Trove, backed up in the cloud, so that you have it when you need it. But what you do then is you go through your Trove and say, okay, which ones of these things are really important to me? And with a simple swipe right, not quite Tinder style, but it's swipe right, and you can protect just the things that are important to you. And this literally takes seconds. And it surfaces a personalized quote that's entirely automated based on your profile and your location and other information that you've given us. What you can't see there is there's a little slider bar at the bottom that allows you to adjust the deductible. And then you can also choose to get your insurance either by month or by day, depending on the rate that you're more comfortable with. It's the same rate, but we very much focus on allowing people to have flexible coverage that works for them. So there's our protected camera. And it's protected instantly. Trove creates micro-duration policies that are billed down to the second. So the second you press purchase, it's on. And what's perhaps more interesting, because you might say, wow, well, quoting's always been pretty easy. The insurance industry's pretty good at selling. But what it hasn't been good at is turning off or canceling. And this is an age of transparency. Consumers demand it. And so not only does Trove make it easy to buy, it makes it easy to turn off. So with a simple swipe left, again, kind of Tinder style, but not quite, you can turn your insurance off within literally seconds. And you can turn it on and you can turn it off. Now, we don't want people to do that all the time, but they are empowered to be able to do it. But it doesn't end there, because to be truly on demand in the insurance industry, we believe that it's about the purchase needs to be on demand, the cancellation needs to be on demand, and you need to be able to claim as on demand as possible. So we've created an automated claims chat experience. Thank you, Facebook, for making this all the rage lately. But it's a chatbot that takes you through all the important questions. And our claims experience is 99.9% automated today. And we have the goal of making that 100. We will never hire a big room of call center people to manage this. We think that the majority of claims can be handled entirely automatically. And there's a live chat agent to jump in if anything goes awry. Okay, so I've gone through a ton. That's basically the product. This might be the most interesting thing to you, though. This is how it works. So again, we've heard a few different structures today on the panel that are really interesting, and this is very much what we're doing. So Trove is comprised of 3 different things. Trove, the mobile app, which is the consumer-facing application that people can interact with. And then in the middle, there's what we call Trove Protection. Now, as I said before, we tried to integrate, but it was impossible, in our opinions, to make what we wanted to make. So we are the first insurance company in the world, as far as we're aware, or insurance platform, to be born digital, be born in the cloud. Everything from pricing, risk analysis, claims management, pricing, purchase, billing, everything is in the cloud, and nobody ever needs to touch it or see it, which creates an enormous amount of flexibility for us, and we built it with flexibility in mind. So then we have our third piece, which is the global insurance partners. Basically what happens is that they plug into our platform, and they provide 2 things. And I think Bob from Munich Re mentioned actually the 2 things. Yeah, oh, there you are. And the 2 things are this: underwriting capital and license. So those are the 2 things that we don't have. We don't have a ton of cash, and we need help getting into regions. So the license and regulation help from the underwriters is critical. And I'll stop it right there.
Thank you.
All right, questions?
Yeah, great question. We get it all the time. I'll give you the quick answer. There's 2 types of fraud we look at. One is systematic fraud, so you're professional criminals who are trying to shut us down. We have tons of fraud indicators in place that make sure things like that can't happen. And in fact, we have probably the most sophisticated fraud detection that's ever been possible, because we only sell on a mobile device. So things like location and different types of questions and sensors are highly enabled versus a traditional approach. The second, though, is sort of the gray area fraud of, I cracked my iPhone screen and I'm just gonna claim. And our perspective on that is we don't have all the answers, but our approach is very consumer first. So we're trying to provide a relevant solution, and we have to give we have to trust the consumer a little bit, and we're asking a generation of consumers that have never trusted an insurance company, well, have trusted insurance companies, but have had difficulty trusting insurance companies to trust us. So there's a little bit of a reciprocal relationship, but the last thing I'll say is that we can turn all of this on and off with a flick of the switch. So if we get fraud out the roof on one type of product, we can adjust things really quickly.
How do you deal with payment? So is it at the option of the consumer how they want to pay, credit card, Apple Pay, linked to their PayPal? I mean, what do you do?
Today it's just credit card. So yeah, just enter a few. We partner with, it's just different in different regions, but yeah, just credit card.
We're out of time, and but Jeff is going to be here for a little while, so feel free to ask him questions. But startups like this are one of the main reasons we're in the business. We're excited to work with them and hope to see them around more. Thank you.
Thanks so much.